Hey guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. Oh, I'm a little out of breath. I've been running back and forth. As you can see, I'm in a different place. I'm in my office today because I just finished up my office hours and I thought I'm just gonna make my videos in here so that I can go home and enjoy my night with Alex and upload the videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wanted to do this video today. I am in the middle of Diverse-a-thon, you guys, and I started Underground Railroad by Colton Whitehead. Loving it so far. And I also started The Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Talley, but I'm only like 5 or 10 pages into it, so I can't really speak to that. But I wanted to talk today about Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk and do a review on it. And I actually do not have the book with me. So embarrassed because this chair is like sliding back. I was like, I listened to it on Audible last night. I drove around literally for 3 hours and finished it because you guys know I've been really struggling with finishing this book. If you follow my channel, you know that. A lot of people are buddy reading with me the entire collected works of Chuck Palahniuk. Next, we will be reading Survivor, I think. I said Lullaby before, but I think it's Survivor next. I will let you know. We're not going to start it until next week, so I'll let you know sometime this week. I'm almost positive it's Survivor, so go get your copy of Survivor. So let me tell you about Fight Club. If you guys have not read it, which if you haven't read it, don't watch this review because I don't really know how to talk about Fight Club without it being spoiler-free. So I got the audio version of it because I'd seen the movie and then the audio version was free, or not free, it was like $2.95, which is basically free, on Audible. So I bought it and listened to it. I really struggled with the first 2 hours of this book. Like, I could not get into it. If you guys are one of my friends on BookTube that is also reading it, we've been voxing back and forth, talking on Twitter, talking on other areas, and you guys know I was openly saying how much I disliked this book. Like, I just couldn't get into it. And it was interesting because so many people were saying to me that they didn't like the characters, that they didn't understand the purpose of the book and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's interesting because at about halfway through the book, it all changes. And I really fell in love with the book about the last third, the last half. And really, when it happened for me, if you're reading the book, you'll know what I'm talking about, is when Fight Club changes into Project Mayhem. And I don't know why that was, for me, the changing point, but there was just something about it to me that became like, I started understanding the purpose of Chuck Palahniuk's books. Okay, or his book. Now, let me tell you, if you haven't read anything else by Chuck Palahniuk, what he does is he's making social commentary on a part of our world, but he takes it to an extreme that is almost like so grossly over-exaggerated that you can't ignore it. So like with Fight Club, it's not just like somebody having a fight. It's like fight clubs and then, 10 and then all across the United States and then turns into Project Mayhem and things like that. The book is really about religiosity, spirituality. It's interesting because my mom for years and years would say that she loved this book, she loved this movie, she thought it was about Zen Buddhism. I still struggle with finding that in there a lot. But I do understand the question about religiosity in this book. It was interesting because if you read the book all the way through, towards the end, Tyler Durden's character starts speaking through other people, and he'll say that our concept of God as white male Americans is based upon our father figures when we were growing up. So really we're continuing to look for father figures, God figures, in employers, older brothers, things like that as we grow up. And the concept to me is really interesting. It really made me think about my own life as far as like men I look up to based upon my relationship with my father and the way that I even view my relationship with my father as being very feet of clay, not being able to do any wrong, things like that. It is to some degree almost very much like, I hate how I'm sitting in this video. And I need to trim my beard. But it is very much of a God concept kind of thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was interesting to me to read the book from that point of view. I absolutely loved Marla in the book. In the movie, I did not like her at all. But in the book, I loved Marla so much. And interesting how it ended. Did you guys think? Like, I don't know that I understood the ending. Okay, I can't do this without spoiling it, but does he die or does he not die? Like, I got the impression that he's not dead. Does he die? Can somebody let me know in the comment section below? Like, I remember what happens in the movie, but in the movie it happens very different. It kind of happens differently than it happens in the book. I don't think he dies. I think, like, he's talking about... Anyway, I don't know. I was very confused. The book was very confusing to me through the whole thing. I did like the idea, especially as a person that's sober, that you basically have to hit your bottom and go through total destruction before you can have freedom and reinvent yourself. I mean, it is kind of, to some degree, the idea of recovery. So I liked that idea of saving your life through destruction. There were a lot of symbolic ideas in the book that I really related to and that I thought were actually really, really beautiful. I actually thought the book was really funny, too. I mean, the whole kind of Robin Hood idea of stealing the fat from liposuctioned rich people and turning it into these lard soap that they were selling for $20 a bar, or $200 a bar, whatever they were selling it for, I thought was hilarious. Like, I mean, there were so many of those pieces that I thought were funny. And it's interesting, like, watching the movie, I remember thinking that, like, Marla and him meeting in the support groups, I thought that was funny at the beginning, but, like, if you read the whole book, can you hear the sirens outside? Something's going on. There's, like, a purpose for it at the end of the book for why they met there that I never really connected to watching the movie. So it was interesting to me how it all played out. You know, the one thing you have to remember is that it's two sides of the same person. So, like, Tyler Durden, as much as when you're reading the book, you see him as a separate character, he's not. And so, it's very much like good against evil, but Tyler Durden's not even really an evil person. He's a person that pushes you to your limit. And it's so, so interesting because the part when they're driving around in the car and the birthday cake is in there, and he's, like, gonna, like, kill them all in this car, and he says, what were you gonna do with your life that you never did? And he, like, forces him to answer, and then he's not dead. Like, I found myself out loud, and I won't tell you what I said, but I found myself out loud, like, answering that question. And so, like, I loved those kind of symbolic ideas of what is our life, what does our life mean? Those kinds of things. What is the meaning of all of this? Is there any meaning to it? And questioning, like, making the most out of your life. I also like the idea of when he was going to kill the guy. Not really was going to kill the guy, but he took his driver's license. And this is towards the end of the book. And he asks him what he always wanted to do with the life and why he quit school. And the guy says he wanted to be a veterinarian. And he goes, okay, he goes, when you wake up tomorrow morning, go re-enroll in school, do the things you need to do because I'm going to be checking on you in 2 to 3 months from now. You better be in school pursuing your dream because if you're not, I'm going to kill you. And I love that idea that, like, we take for granted our lives and the possibilities of doing anything that we want to do with our life. Like, I love that Chuck Palahniuk questions that, but he does it in a way through violence and mayhem that, like, it's almost like, is it only through anarchy that we can have, like, peace? And it reminded me that back in high school, I had a friend of mine. I was kind of very punk rock in high school. And I had a friend of mine, and she used to, like, write on papers, like, when we would write each other notes at the end, she would put, like, a peace sign plus anarchy sign equals possible. She would always say that. And I thought, is it really, or is the purpose of this book that Chuck Palahniuk is saying through anarchy we find peace within ourselves? And I do think that's what he's trying to say. But the book is so much deeper than that. It is just simply not a book about building these fight clubs and the relationship between Tyler Durden and Marla and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's such a deep book, and I loved it so much at the end. I did end up giving it 4 stars. I probably, if the option for a half star was on there, I probably would have given it 4.5 because it really redeemed itself at the end for me. The other thing is that Chuck Palahniuk, I remember this with reading Snuff, he, like, builds the momentum of the book so that by the end you do kind of fall in love with it, but there are areas at the beginning where you're not so much in love with it. And that was how it was for me. Like, I did not love it at the beginning. But by the end, I was, like, so taken with it. I was like, yes, yes. Like, I get it. I finally get it, you know? The last hour for me just flew by, and I almost wished it wasn't over when it was done. So, I probably would give it 4.5 stars on my video, but on Goodreads I gave it 4 stars because the half-star option isn't there. But I did really think it was great, and I am now excited to read more works by Chuck Palahniuk, starting with Survivor next week. So, what did you guys think of Fight Club? Did you read it along with me? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and let me know what you thought. And if you're doing the buddy reads with everybody else, there's like 20 people that are doing it so far, I think. It was supposed to be like 50, but probably because I didn't email those people. But anyway, and then go get your copy of Survivor from the library. I saw it at the library the other day, or at the bookstore, or wherever, and or on your Kindle. And I wish you guys the best, and I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and follow me on all my social media. I will talk to you guys later. Oh, and I do put up daily content, I put up daily content, so daily videos. I put up videos every day. So come back tomorrow and see what I've got stirring then. I'll talk to you later. Bye.